What up, YouTube? It's your boy Danny Nuggets back in with another post. Dare I say consistency is happening on my YouTube channel. First, I talked about the Denver Nuggets outlook because I'm a Nuggets fan. But now I want to talk about the highly debated 2025 NBA MVP race. And honestly, when we talk about MVP in the recent years of the 2020s, at this point, the award is synonymous with the one and only Nikola Jokic. He's won 3 MVPs in this decade, and he's won 3 out of the 4 MVPs, and he's right in the thick of it again this year, having arguably, honestly, it's not even arguable, statistically, his best season ever. The Nuggets are currently the 3 seed, 8 game win streak. We are 36-19, half game out of the 2 seed, and Nikola is averaging damn near a 30-point triple double. Third in the league in scoring, fourth in the league in rebounding, second in the league in assists, fourth in the league in steals. To be fair, though, defense is still not his strong suit. He's still one of the worst rim protectors in the league. If I want to give some pros, we have some nasty losses. And the gap between us and the other MVP candidate, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is currently the 1 seed out west, tied for the best record in the league with the Cleveland Cavaliers, are 44-10, and I think either have an 8.5, 9 game lead over the Nuggets. Defensively, though, SGA is better, but honestly, he's out of the perimeter defenders they have, he's probably the worst. Compared to him and Jokic defensively, SGA is the better defender. I will call him like a slight positive or a positive defensively because he also is second in the league in steals. He also, I think he averages more blocks per game than Nikola, which is pretty nasty. But SGA is averaging 1.9 steals. He's also leading the league in scoring, 32.5 points per game. 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So realistically, if we round up for both Nikola and SGA for raw counting stats, SGA is averaging 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a block, and 2 steals, while Nikola Jokic is averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, because I think he's at 10 and a half, a block ish, and 2 steals. So eerily similar numbers. SGA is the better defender. Scoring wise, kind of a wash because efficiency wise, Jokic is slightly better overall. But you can argue SGA is better in certain areas, obviously better from the mid range. And surprisingly, SGA is better at the rim. I will say that Nikola, I want to say, is the better shooter overall because of the 3 point advantage that he has. And because of that, he has the better true shooting percentage. Nikola is damn near is averaging 30 points on a 67 true shooting, while SGA is averaging 33 on like 63 or 64 true shooting. Both are insane, and honestly, if you do proportions, it cancels out. Honestly, voter fatigue aside, on this is like Nicola's best season ever, and if I wasn't having the prior knowledge that I had now, I would give the award to Nikola. But like at the same time, SGA is super deserving. This is one of the best guard season ever, and the gap is too big, man. Like I know Nicola's season to me is better than SGA's, and you could argue SGA has the better help, but I feel like given the circumstances, both teams have to deal with injuries. Recently, Nikola, despite the fact that this team is facing Mickey Mouse teams in this 8 game win streak, like a lot of the players have been in and out of the lineup. Like there has been no Russ for a couple weeks. There's no P Watt. AG's missed a decent amount of the season. Um, what's MPJ missed the last couple games. Jamal's missed a couple games. Nicola's missed a couple games. So record wise, we're not where we are typically. To be fair, we do have some nasty losses like the Wizards lost, the Trailblazers lost, the Chicago loss. On the flip side for OKC, I feel like their defensive floor is higher. Sorry about that. Their defensive floor is higher with all the elite defenders that they have. And then in and out, they have Chet and Ihart. But I will say, though, Chet being out the vast majority of the year does help his case a lot. And they are one of the best, like, 3 point shooting teams in the, not best 3 point shooting teams, but they are one of the best defensive teams in the league. Historically, one of the best defensive teams ever. It is kind of insane how great they are defensively. And there were points in this season where they were doing it without a big. There was no Chet. There was no iHeart, and they were doing it with the all small lineup. And there was a point in the season where they had less turnovers and they forced more. They had less turnovers than they had forced. And man, oh man, if the season ended today, given the circumstances, I would say Nikola's had the better season, but I give the MVP to SGA because his season is comparable, and I feel like the gap is way too big to justify Nikola getting it. Voter fatigue aside, I just typically, if the gap was smaller, I'll just say this. SGA, you better keep that gap at 8 or 9, my guy, because if it gets cut down to 6 or 5 and Nikola and the Nuggets are the 2 seed, God bless, bro, because that MVP might be cooked. That's basically it for me, man. As for prior knowledge, bro, if you want my honest opinion about Nikola's MVPs, I will defend the first two till the cows go home. As for the third one, I thought Luka should have won last year. And honestly, I would argue that like last year's MVP was probably the worst. I know some people will say the first MVP. Statistically, the first MVP is probably the worst, but the first two MVPs have a special place in my heart. So Luka should have been MVP last year. This should be Nikola's third if you want my take on how the MVP award has been dished out recently. But that's it for me. Comment down below how you feel about the MVP race. Do you think Nikola deserves it? Do you think SGA deserves it? Or do you think somebody else should deserve it or should be in the hunt and should be getting more recognized in terms of MVP love? That's basically it for me, man. Like and follow is appreciated. Being looking for more content here or on TikTok at Danny Nuggets as well. And as always, have a good one, guys. Peace.